What kind of big mistakes have huge companies made? Coca-Cola's epic fail. In the 1980s, Coca-Cola was in the middle of a commercial war with its great rival, Pepsi. At the time, people were turning to less sweetened beverages, and Coke sales were declining. Pepsi was gaining ground on the soda market and even won the taste battle. That year, it launched a marketing campaign called Pepsi Challenge. People taste blindly Pepsi and Coke, and the result is clear. People prefer the taste of Pepsi.
Loser!
In 1985, Coca-Cola decided to launch a new formula to replace the original recipe, New Coke.
This stuff is great.
After months of work, the launch was made in the northern United States, and the new taste of Coke was rather well accepted by the people of these regions. But in the conservative southern states, it's not the same lemonade. The company received thousands of complaints, and calls for a boycott were launched. The cans of the old formula were sold at incredibly high prices, and all the while, Coca-Cola shares were falling. Less than 3 months after the launch of New Coke, Coca-Cola went back on its decision and reintroduced its classic Coca-Cola to the market. But this trial will have cost them several tens of millions of dollars in only 79 days. But what's crazier is that the recipe for the classic Coca-Cola had already been changed dozens of times without anyone knowing about it because the company didn't advertise it. Adidas's terrible choices. It's 1984. A young player named Michael Jordan joins the Chicago Bulls. He decides to find a sponsor for his NBA beginnings and turns to Adidas, a brand he's been a fan of ever since he was a child. But the brand with 3 stripes refuses to sign Michael because, according to them, the position he plays isn't interesting enough. Adidas can't see him going very far in the NBA. Vexed, he then turned to Nike, lesser known in the 80s. Together, they created the Air Jordan, a massive success. In the first year, almost 450,000 pairs of Air Jordans were purchased in the United States, making a total of $153 million.
In the beginning, it could have been Adidas, not Nike.
35 years after the Air Jordans came out, over 100 million have been sold worldwide. And 19 years after playing his last NBA game, Michael Jordan remains the richest basketball player in the world, with an estimated fortune of $1.5 billion, making about $145 million per year, including $130 million, thanks to his brand. Adidas must surely be kicking themselves right now. Nokia's flop. Between the 1990s and 2000s, Nokia was the world's leading phone company. The company produced nearly 1 million phones a day. Everyone had a Nokia in their pocket, and these devices were known to be affordable and, above all, very robust. And at that time, Nokia bets on a very original strategy. The Finnish firm wants to provide everyone with a different phone, one for calls, one for games, and another for emails. However, in 2007, Apple creates its famous toy-looking little device, the iPhone. This revolutionary multifunctional smartphone was the total opposite to Nokia's strategy, not having bet on the smartphone and not believing for a second in the success of the iPhone. Nokia finds itself at a loss. The company gets a chance to save themselves, but instead makes one mistake after the other, starting with the day it refused to partner with Google, which had offered the Android operating system. In 2011, there was a second death blow. The company decided to join forces with Microsoft and their Windows Phone operating system, which was quickly abandoned by the public in favor of iOS or Android. Nokia's phones fell little by little into oblivion. But Nokia has now reoriented its strategy and has become a world leader in the installation of 5G. So much so that they were selected by NASA to install the network on the moon. It just goes to show, even if you fall, you can always bounce back higher than ever.